What's up out there, Crypto Nation? Hope y'all had a good week so far. Thanks for tuning in to some No Noise with your boy, Z-Rex. I like to try to do these as often as possible. When I first started, I was like, man, I can easily do these daily, but they require a little bit more time than one would think, that's for sure. But, so we've had some awesome price action this week in the crypto markets. And depending which side of the market you were on in equities, also over there. And in commodities, we've had a lot of stuff moving. Gold's moving a lot, oil's moving a lot. It's been pretty pretty fun, lucrative for trading too. Unless you're on the wrong side and being stubborn emotionally, which I actually did that on a trade recently. It cost me some money. It was pretty dumb. Just not follow my rules, and you get slapped. It only takes one time for that to happen. And usually when those happen, it'll be big ones too, and you'll get hit pretty hard. This wasn't as hard as the hit as I took on my oil thing when I talked about a few weeks ago. That one was pretty rough, but you know, when volatility comes into markets like this, it makes it a little bit, it really tests to see your fortitude of being, you know, a disciplined trader, because with all the emotional swings and the price action going all over the place, it makes it like a little harder to manage that emotion. So just remember, stick to your plan for the trade. And when you're wrong, it's okay. It's just part of doing business. Think of trading as a business. You're going to take losses. In any other business, you take losses. It's just inevitable. It's how it works. Trading is no different. It's just a lot faster. Alright, let's jump into it. Alright, let's see here. So, we've got the coin checkup up here. Let's go ahead and take out some of the garbage. And you can see we got some big movers in the last 24 hours. Bitcoin Cash, everyone's favorite, the real Bitcoin, Bitcoin Diamond. And Strat has been on a freaking tear. Look at this, guys. In a week, it's up 130%. Probably one of the biggest gainers. Let's go ahead and check that out real quick. I totally forgot about Stratus, but you know, we're gonna get reminded of a bunch of coins that we forgot about, since you know, most people were like have been kind of tired of the crypto space, because there's not, you know, 30, 40, 80% moves every day. So people were like, oh, screw this crap. But yeah, look at this guy just ripping out of the gate. Obviously, let's see, let me throw these horizontals on here real quick. Yeah, as you can see, this nice big run up, consolidating over all these moving averages, and ultimately breaking out on this candle over the longer term. And, you know, confluence with some DMI here. So that was a nice run for sure. You can see just the bottom of that. But are these sustainable runs? I don't know. We're going to get into that here in a little bit when we talk about price action some more on Mama Bear. Bitcoin Cash, everyone's favorite, Mr. Bear. This one's up a lot today. One of the bigger movers, probably today, the largest. Yeah, largest mover of the day. It's so funny how much people hate Bitcoin Cash. Like, everybody's in some of the groups I'm in, and they're like, why is Bitcoin, what's going on? Why is Bitcoin Cash rallying? This is weird. Like, that's not supposed to happen. It's supposed to go to zero. I don't know why people hate on the Bitcoin Cash so damn much. It's pretty funny to me. But still, if you combine the split, you know, Cash and SV here, it's still well below its lows, you know, or well below its highs around, I don't know, it's hovering around that $300-400 range for a little while before that fork. Yeah, and so it's struggling to even get back over 3. But yeah, so there doesn't have to be news for price to move, and I think people are really, they just want to know. They're like, oh my god, why is it rallying? But no, you don't see anyone saying, well, why is Bitcoin Diamond up 30% or 20% today? Or why is Strat up 130%? Like, no one cares about that. It just shows like some I think some deeper psychology of the hate towards Bitcoin Cash and Ver, which I don't really understand it, but I do like that everyone hates it. It reminds me of Ripple back in 14, or pretty much still even today. Not as much anymore, but everybody hates Ripple. And everyone really hated it in 2014 and 15. It was like, I would tell people, man, I really like Ripple, and they would be like, what are you, like a fake Bitcoiner, dude? It's like, whoa, man, I'm agnostic. I like to trade what's moving, you know? Alright, so enough about that. So some other larger movers in the last couple days, or last day, you've got OMG up there, you know. Everything's popping hard after Bitcoin's up, you know, probably like 30-ish%. So, yeah, definitely a really good bump off the lows. Even EOS is having a nice tear, too. So let's go ahead and just jump right into the Mama Bear and see what she's telling us today. And do some follow-up action. So as y'all know, we are watching these boxes, and this box, let's go ahead and go to big screen. We have these two boxes drawn up, and man, this one is actually really hard to see on my screen, so it probably is on y'all's too. Brighten that up just a tad. So we had these two targets here with like a base. And one of the, you know, this basing here, we were talking about how Litecoin was showing that strength that we wanted to see on Bitcoin with the 4-hour closing above the 55 exponential, which is the orange one on my chart here. And so that was the sign for me to be like, okay, now I'm gonna lean a little bit more bullish. Now there was some interesting kind of feelings, even in the last videos, like the sentiment seemed to kind of be shifting a little bit, and it stalled out. I mean, it went sideways for a minute after breaking down below 32, and it just couldn't get any more legs and momentum. And you know, to be fair, on the hourly, you kind of had this battling up here, which we talked about on the last video a few days ago, and I was saying that, you know, there's a big ass move around the corner, just because when the hourly stacks up on this high zone on the DMI, it's pretty textbook that's, and you don't know which side it's going to go. Of course, when you're back here, hindsight, just being below all these and kind of in this support box, you kind of have to lean slightly bearish. But with Litecoin and some of the other things that were going on, it was definitely interesting for sure. And then let's jump out to the 4-hour. So on the 4-hour, this is what I was talking about. On this is what I needed to see to get a little bit excited, I should say, is closing, you know, a handful or at least several candles above the 55 exponential, which again is this orange one, which it did do that. Stabilized right up here on the higher upper end of this range too. So this was like perfect. This was great, and you have DMI hanging out above in this power zone here in the upper 20s and low 30s. And so that was really good confluence, and we just went right to this target here and consolidated in a little bit, and then had a gnarly just keep going all the way up to about 4,200 on Bitstamp, and that must have happened earlier today. Yeah, I missed that. So almost 4,200 earlier today. We are getting a little bit of sell pressure, which, you know, with this kind of move like this and these large, if you can see these volume profile, I mean, a lot of these pumps here, like especially this last candle, I mean, there wasn't like really any buying here, so this will probably get backfilled. We'll probably come back and test this hourly 55, which is sitting at about 3,800. It's pretty interesting here. This price action is pretty nice. I don't want to get like overly excited bullish though yet. Technically it is bullish, and if we do hold above, you know, that 36, which was really good support, pretty much 36 to kind of like 38, where this box is here, is going to turn into the support zone. And so actually, you know what we can do to denote that? Let's go ahead and delete this box, because we can revisit that when price gets a little bit lower. And let's change this one to a green box like that. drag it out a little. Oh. Alright, so this is going to be kind of our new support thing. If Bitcoin can kind of hang out above this and stay above here, that'll be pretty damn bullish. We haven't even seen it get over the purple exponential since the sell-off started. And if you notice too, where it's flattening out, it is right inside of this target box that we drew, you know, like back over here a couple of weeks ago. And yeah, if you notice, we're getting flat through there, and we are coming up on a cross on the 4-hour for the 21 and the 144 exponential, which hasn't happened in a bullish sense since all the way back in early November. Although this price action is really lame and super compressed, as you can see. This is even on a log chart too, which is pretty wild. You usually don't see that, but as y'all know, that was the most boring few months in crypto ever, when everyone was like, oh, I'm trading stocks now, screw this crap. Yeah, so this is definitely a shift in the momentum. Now this could for sure be what we're looking for bulls. If we measure this too, a 618 is about 35, so around this cluster, so that's setting up pretty nice for some supports. There's something I just can't get super bullish because, you know, unless we're really above 4,200, I'd really like to see the daily close above 42, and then I'll probably get super bullish then for maybe just a test back up to this trend line that it's failed so many times. And, you know, if that happened by, let's say, the end of the year, you know, that's putting us in the mid 5,000 kind of range. I'm not sure if we do that before the end of the year, and given like this, just no upticks pretty much, except for like this one day playing around that low 4,000s level, and then you get this little doji on the daily. We are getting a little bit of rejection here. This probably tricked a lot of people, this daily that closed yesterday. Definitely inverted. Let me hide this real quick, or wait, I'll just drag it over for a sec. So you can see right here, inverted kind of a big tail, inverted hammer type thing. Usually not the best candle, so a lot of people were probably like, oh, that's about it. And you could even see here on the 21 exponential closing right below it. So in this price action, along with what I just showed you on the volume profile, with this real thin part of the profile and this making a P formation, I know that's probably not going to make any sense, but in this volume profile, if you look up market profile, is actually what the traditional markets will call it, and you can look up the P formation, and it's usually like a shift in direction. But, you know, to be fair, you had this right here, this big pop out of 32-ish to 34, and it was kind of the same, not very much business done all through here. Kind of like gap ups, you can think of them that way. But yeah, so we're getting a little gappy, and people are getting pretty bullish again just off of this run up, which, yeah, it is a really good run up, don't get it twisted, but I mean, look where we're at though. Like, we're still really sold off, even relative to that. And just for shits and giggles, a 618 retracement from this sell-off will put you all the way up to about 5,200, and that also coincides with this longer-term gray, super long-term moving average that we've only broken. Let's go ahead and show. We only broke it back in 2015. Early 2015 right here, and it was only for a brief moment in time, and then we came back up and magneted right to it, and then kind of hovered around it for that consolidation accumulation phase before the next run up. And we talked about that in another video about a week ago, about this action getting below here, and it actually almost had the same kind of measured percent drop. And it's funny, it is kind of playing out to this pop. So if that does want to fully play out in, you know, some kind of a semi-measured move, fractal thing, I'm not a huge fractal fan, but given the price action coming up here, you know, it is pretty We do have some good strength. Let's see, what time is it? 3 o'clock, so we still got 3 hours on the daily. This daily closing here, I'm going to be real curious, and it's going to be real important to where it does close out. If it can kind of close in the upper part of this range, if you can see the point of control for this daily range is up here around 40-50. So for bulls to keep this momentum up, I think that they probably need to close above that 4K range is kind of what I'm thinking. Otherwise, we'll have a little backfill, get some testing maybe back over here into this consolidation box, maybe high or mid 3000s, and see what happens after that. There is one thing that is concerning me a little bit, is that we did just get, let me go to, and it's only on the hourly, so it's not a huge deal yet, but you are seeing a little bit of divergence, and these bears keep bouncing out of the weak zone or the forgotten zone and getting back into the weak and neutral zone. So they're definitely not gone. They're still trying to apply the pressure, but mostly what you can see here is on the RSI. This is probably the most concerning thing I'm seeing if you want to keep the bullish narrative. And like, I don't want to be bearish. I just do what price is kind of telling me for the most part. I try not to trade my my opinion and emotions, although if you trade a lot, you know that's hard to do. You have to check yourself constantly, like I mentioned earlier in this video. But as you can see here, maybe you can't. Let me brighten up this this trend line. Let's make it solid. There we go. So you can see here we are putting in textbook divergence on the hourly. We don't have it on the 4-hour though. We're still pretty strong on the 4-hour, so that's a good sign. But on the hourly, we are starting to see it. Again, that's only on one time frame. That's kind of low. But given the volatility in this market right now, you definitely need to take note of the hourly, especially for me on my how I use the DMI. And so they still are kind of in control up here. Both of them are in the neutral zone as of this last candle that just printed. But this RSI, though, is slightly concerning for the bulls. Yeah, getting back here into the weak zone, I'm kind of watching this very cautiously. I'm not long here besides my you know, my just portfolios and stuff, but I am still hedged on them, because even though this has bounced really good and that's great, I'm still hedged on just my portfolios, just because I'm not totally convinced that we are at a bottom of the range. Like, you know, we were sitting down here for a long time. Let's go to the daily. I mean, look at this action, just hanging out on the lows within a couple $100 for, you know, almost 2 weeks. When you really get a low, you don't usually get that long to decide if you want to buy it or not. And so that's the one thing that is a little bit concerning to me. And also in bear markets, the rallies, the bull rallies, they're always face rippers. And I'm sure if you've traded BTC, you're definitely aware of that. And just for reference, you've got all these right here, these big old face rippers coming up to that trend line. Yeah, if we do one of those now, so that's a really nice move. And I will adjust my long positions if we get above the daily 55 exponential. If you were wondering, that's kind of what I'm looking for at this point. If we can't get above that daily 55 close exponential, you know, we're not out of the woods yet, and the bears are still going to be slightly in control. But this does look like we're going to come up here and test it. Let's see what this daily closes like today, but it's definitely in the cards. So right now I'm kind of looking at the support zone again right here in this green box. That's also kind of some 618 retracements as well. So this is going to be a pretty good area. Volume is looking really nice here though, so that's definitely notable. Now, is it as much as I'd like to see? Absolutely not. I mean, because you compare it on a weekly basis back to any of the pump, it's still pretty low to average, and it's definitely not even close to, you know, some of these capitulation type sell-offs that we've seen. But it is higher than average, so that is good. That's good. It's a good sign. But you need a little bit more follow through, because on the higher time frames, you kind of have to default to that on the momentum. So 3 days still slightly bearish. The daily though has gone neutral, so that's good. That's a good sign for the bulls. See if they can get back over here and crack into the power zone. But we'll have to wait probably another day or two to see that. Probably into the weekend. But yeah, on the hourly, just watch out. If these bears can get back up into this power zone on the hourly, that's not going to be a great look, because that'll kind of confirm this divergence that we're seeing in the RSI. Again, that's only on the 1 hour, so it's not super crazy yet, but definitely noteworthy. And let's see. Yeah, on the 4 hour, we don't have it. It's almost, hell, if anything on a 4 hour, it's almost like making a flag type thing on the RSI. So yeah, there's still definitely a possibility of some upside in here. So, but if you played some long action in this, and you know, great trade. If it was me, I would definitely look to be trimming, especially getting these rejections on 4 hour candles. Look at this spinning top. Yeah, you got the spinning top here, big candle, lots of thin, like no volume done, pretty much from 37.5 to 39-ish. But yeah, spinning top, and then another type of doji, probably like a shooting star type doji, and then now you're getting this candle here that's kind of giving a little bit of follow through. So I'm definitely watching this really closely, followed through to the downside. But again, not too bearish yet. We've kind of gotten back into neutral. The bulls have gotten us into a price zone that's like, all right, maybe we can chill here for a minute. You know, there is a high probability, I think, too, that 3K might be the same thing of what 6,000 did for so long. Like, that could totally be in the cards. So, but yeah, this move was a great move. Very fast, though. I almost wish it was a little bit slower. Only 3-4 days. So that's a little concerning, too. This is very indicative of just kind of like bull rallies inside of bear markets, little quick face rippers. You know, getting all these people that thought they were smart getting short down here and all this, just rip their face off real quick, capitulate them. One thing that is good though is look at this volume on a daily. Every day it is picking up on the buy side, so that's definitely noteworthy. But again, I'll be watching kind of the hourly zoomed in a little here and going from there, because if you can see on the hourly, we've found support mostly on the 21 exponential the whole time, and ultimately the 55 when it did kind of break below it. So yeah, we're getting below that there. If this can keep holding, we're good to go and in the clear. So again, yeah, be careful around these areas though, because this daily that's printing now, since we still do have a few hours left, you know, this candle is going to be pretty important. If it has any follow through, if it can close above this wick on this previous candle, that would be a really good look. All right, let's see what Ethereum's doing. The ETH, kind of in the same boat as Bitcoin. Chart looks real similar. One thing on ETH is we don't really have. Let me zoom out a little bit. Sorry, I'm zoomed in. Okay, yeah, we do. We still have the same type of divergence. It's not as bad, though, because if you draw this here on the hourly, you know, it did technically come back over it and break it. So, you know, sometimes that does happen, but Bitcoin's is very textbook, and since, you know, Mama Bear is king right now, or queen, I guess, if you want to go that way, you know, she's going to kind of dictate the general direction. And, you know, this is looking just like Bitcoin's chart, kind of coming up here to test 140, 130, 140 is definitely in the cards here. But I am a little bit cautious. But there's no super signs yet on the 4 hour, which is like my main time frame that I like, that the bulls are exhausted quite yet. Just a little bit of hinting on the hourly. But, yeah, so far they're looking pretty good. Good job, bulls. Get it in. And again, you can see here, like we talked about for a long time, for all of December for sure, if we can't get above the 55 exponential on a 4 hour for at least a few candles, I don't even care about entertaining bulls. Now that has happened, as you can see, there was some follow through, so definitely need to kind of switch it up a little bit. Switch your mindset. Don't get married to your position. It will cost you money, guaranteed. So let's go back to Litecoin real quick before everything else got above the 55 exponential. This was the last video we made, and we were talking about this, making a little flag right above it. It was looking really good. Charlie Lee usually doesn't lead this market, but I guess this time he wanted to show face a little. So nice run there. But let's see if we're getting it on Litecoin too. Yeah, not like a little bit, but not as textbook as Bitcoin is. But it is slightly there. But again, hourly divergence isn't really like that. Like, I'm definitely not trading off that, that's for sure. Right now, though, still kind of same deal, coming up on the 144. A lot of these charts look very similar in the majors, and you've got that supported about 29-30 bucks. So as long as we're holding that, I'm gonna go ahead and throw me an alert here. As long as we're kind of holding that, you know, this is actually looking pretty good for price action. So so that's pretty nice. All right, let's go to XRP, the rips. Oh, I gotta go to... Actually, before I forget about it, because I won't forget about XRP. So also, we talked about Doge. Gosh, Dogecoin, you son of a bitch. Check this out, Dogecoin. Just like as we talked about, we were like, man, is Doge giving us a signal? Because it just kept breaking out and kept breaking out. And it's like literally the 14th. This is the day that Bitcoin started selling off. Literally right here was the candle that closed below on a daily and confirmed the downtrend of that descending triangle pretty much. And the whole time this sell-off's been happening, Dogecoin has just been quietly making a nice run. Ultimately, it got all the way up to about 75%, getting rejected now. Fat rejection, lost about half of its power there, and look at this big volume spike. So could this be kind of the exhaustion of that? And if this keeps selling off and maybe gets back below, let's see, we got these are about right there. Yeah, let's say about 50, like high 50s, around 60. Yeah, if this starts losing momentum, it's weird, man. Doge has this ability to kind of, I feel like people are in Doge and in playing it before big market moves. It's like, it's the weird, and everyone talks shit about Doge. All my Doge peeps out there, y'all know who you are. You know we love the Doge. It just proves community can make a coin stick around forever. Let me take off this volume profile. It's kind of clouding my chart up. Our market profile, really. So here we are on the 4 hour getting below the 21. So yeah, this could be hinting the other way now, possibly, that this momentum has been exhausted. But still a little early to tell. But yeah, just kind of funny that Dogecoin, once again, and if you look on the trading view or like my videos from back over here when we were talking about this big old pump, and I did a chart of correlations to Doge pumps and Bitcoin moves. I'll update that one, and we'll talk about it tomorrow. It's pretty funny. It's got a really good accuracy, and once again, it did that. But again, like, when do you want to pick up? That's the thing. Timing's always so hard. Like, when would you buy? When it got over here, then you'd buy some Bitcoin, or when it's like doing this, if you were going to use it that way. I don't know. It's super tough. I don't trade off of this. I just think it's nice for sentiment. But yeah, look at this, riding up the 21 exponential on the daily, like clockwork, pretty much all of December. So pretty funny on Doge. Let's go back to the Rips, Mr. Rips. Alrighty, so Ripple. Oh, look at that. Ripple's already coming up to its 55 exponential and testing it, but is making double point of controls right on the 55. So this is going to be real tough resistance right here. I'm going to go ahead and add me an alert above these wicks at about 40.5. Because if that gets over there, you know, Ripple's got a lot of institutional kind of money attached to it, I think, by default. And, you know, if there's a lot of big money moving into Ripple, I think that's an overall good sign for the markets. And, you know, you might hate Ripple or whatever, but it is what it is. Don't get married to positions, right? You probably loved a lot of coins that are down 98%, because I know I definitely have done that from 2014. They don't even exist anymore, so don't fall in love, man. When you're wrong with price action, just get out, and cash is a position. Don't forget that. I think a lot of people think that they have to always be in the markets, but definitely not true, and also very dangerous. I know some of my hodler buddies won't like that I'm saying that, but it is just a fact. I don't know. I've tried to hodl before for a long time, and as I mentioned in this stream before, like in equities, when I first was trading like weed stocks back in 2014 and 13, when it was first going wreck in Colorado, it's like, you know, half of those companies are completely murdered and are like super sub penny. I mean, they're like shit coins now, and you know, more than half of them just died and didn't make it. And yeah, you can hold them. I have one that's probably down, you know, it wasn't very much money. It was like a few $100, but still, you know, it's down like 99 point something %. And you ain't getting that back, I'm sorry. Once something goes down like 95+%, and the more it goes down, the magnitude of the move that you have to get out of that, I mean, I think it's like 2,000% at 95%. So you need like a 2,000 or 1,800% gain just to get back to even. That's why I think hodling is dangerous. Yeah, I mean, how often does something move, you know, 2,000%? Alright, back to some charts. Let's see what we got on the 4 hour. A little bit. On the 1 hour, though, Ripple is showing almost the exact type structure on RSI and internals as Bitcoin. So that's interesting. It is trying to find support right in this little cluster, though. Let's go ahead and put a... If it can hold 35-ish cents, you're in the clear. But right now, this is definitely no trade zones. For me, if anything, I'm looking to maybe get speculative short on some of the stuff that I'm seeing, just because we're coming up on some decent resistance levels, and especially seeing that, like we saw in Bitcoin, getting some rejection wicks from that 42-ish area. That is some hardcore resistance right there. So, oh, let me go to 850 real fast. 850 is still bullish. Daily is just barely cracking bullish, just ever so slightly. 4 hour is still bullish, but kind of losing the momentum just slightly. You really see it on the hourly though. Neutral on the hourly right now, so that's why it's kind of no trade zone for me on the Ripple. Yeah, now if it breaks above like 41 cents or so, hell yeah, I might jump in on some long action. All right, let's go to your favorite coin, Bitcoin Cash ABC. This is the OG, I guess, of... Look at this big old run. What's the news? Why is this happening? It's bullshit, man. Roger shouldn't be able to do this. It's pretty funny. Look at this, though. Bitcoin Cash is coming up right on the 55 exponential. I had some long Bitcoin Cash. I did sell about a third of it earlier today, and I'll probably take another third off of it here looking at this chart. And I'm talking about Bitcoin Cash ABC, not stupid ass Craig Wright's Satoshi vision. You know, it's funny, that guy Craig Wright, he wants to be all like, oh, I'm Satoshi, like, yeah bro, I'm really Satoshi, like totally, but I'm gonna fork Bitcoin Cash just because I'm Satoshi. What a waste of goddamn time. If he really was Satoshi, you'd be like, fuck, I already have badass Bitcoin. Like, why would you even waste your energy to do that with the Bitcoin Cash thing? This is like proving how much of a fucker he is. I usually don't say the F word on here, but you know, it's all good. Sometimes it comes out. What are you gonna do? Alright, yeah, so I did take off some. I'm gonna take off, man, even right here, given Bitcoin Cash moves, you know, crazy. I mean, shit, it's up like, is that 100%, looks like? Wow. Oh, wow, it's more, over 100. Oh, yeah, so I'll be peeling that off probably after the stream. Just kind of taking it off. Yeah, could it go up more? Of course it could. Nobody knows shit. But when you get to certain resistance areas, yeah, look at this on the 4 hour, on the longer term. Yeah, I mean, there's just, I mean, this is a huge move. Like, I don't know, like, why would you want to even buy here? Like, your risk reward is terrible, right? So if you didn't wouldn't, oh, I'm sorry, I can't talk right. If you wouldn't want to buy right there, then why would you still want to hold it? And a good trick I've mentioned before that my buddy taught me, a successful trader, mostly in biotechs and stuff. He said, if you are feeling kind of giddy or weird about a position, just close it and go to cash. And then if you still like it, you can just reopen it. And all it's going to cost you is a small amount of commissions and maybe a little bit of slippage if it's a thinly traded product. You know, but something like Bitcoin Cash or BTC, you know, the top 5 or 10, you're not going to really have any slippage. But unless you're trading a lot, right? But yeah, so just sell it, and then so you don't have confirmation bias. And man, every time I always tried that, especially when I was giddy to the upside and I had profits, or maybe if you shorted, whatever, if you just are in profits, I would close it and then I wouldn't buy back in. I'd be like, oh, I can't justify it now. It's pretty weird. It's like a good trick on your dumb human brain. I mean, our human brains are super smart, but in trading, they're not wired very well. Oh, look at this spinning top right here on the 4 hour with the point of control right here at, yeah. So this is definitely going to make me peel off some more of my Bitcoin Cash, because yeah, like I said, get long it, and then you just get your move. Take that money off the table, y'all. Otherwise, you didn't make any money. It's just pretend. It's just paper. Let's go see what privacy coins are doing. The Monero. Alright, looking kind of like Bitcoin's chart, for sure. Let's see if it's on the hourly. Not as much divergence, but still kind of playing out very similarly. So we are seeing a lot of similar patterns in these moves here on the bigger boys. Daily though, some are closer to the 55 on the daily, some are farther. XMR obviously is quite a bit of ways from it. Neutral on the daily. 4 hour is still pretty bullish on the 4 hour. Don't like it being around here. It's definitely not a place that I'd like to get long, unless we break like 55 bucks. But yeah, so kind of the same boat as Bitcoin, but do be aware that these moves that are happening right now, the velocity of them is very strong. See, look at this angle of this trend line, roughly, and I know it's not touching exact. There you go. Is that better? No, it's this is art. It's not complete science, right? There is a lot of subjectivity to it. But anyway, yeah, you know, breaking this trend line, that wouldn't be good for momentum. So do be wary of that for sure. Usually don't like to leave a lot of those on there because it just makes my chart dirty. When you look at charts a whole lot too, you can kind of see that trend line's obviously there, and even the 21 is kind of mimicking it right now. But yeah, so still looking bullish on the 4 hour on Monero. And on the daily, your next target, if this momentum keeps up, you're probably looking in the $60 to $65 range. Maybe Santa Claus is going to bring some presents for all the crypto world here. He seems to be doing it thus far. All right, let's look at Dash. We'll just pull it up on Polo, why not? So look, a different privacy coin did almost hit its 55 exponential, which is sitting at around 100 bucks at the moment. Let's go. Yeah, good volume though. We are seeing nice volume. Yeah, look at this, nice volume through here. Looking real nice on this 4 hour. Dash is actually looking pretty good. Yeah, on the hourly though, you're getting a lot of that slight divergences in the majors, but again, it is just the hourly, so until you really get that on a 4 hour, it's not too important. But given that that's playing out and we are hitting lots of major resistance areas, definitely noteworthy. And again, I won't take off my hedges on my crypto portfolios until we close daily on Bitcoin specifically above that 55 exponential spot. So that's kind of how I'm playing that one. Let's go look at a Binance token. Look at that. Kind of just sitting here around $6. Pretty good run here from about 450 to almost, oh, it did hit 620 on this pump. Again, kind of getting sold off as it comes into this 55. So you're seeing kind of the importance of that as I fan through some of these charts. Let's go to the 4 hour. And you could use the 55 on the daily, and then the 4 hour, you can zoom in for that for your kind of support levels on the 144 exponential. That's kind of what I'm looking at the moment. But yeah, you are getting divergence a little bit on Binance Coin. Not that that's a huge deal, but it's definitely a textbook, especially on the hourly, and you're about to have it on the 4 hour too. So I mean, this is a really big move. I wouldn't be surprised if we do get some sell-off action after this, because, you know, it's still bearish, but everybody is getting real excited real fast. I'm going to go fan through some YouTube later and crypto Twitter and see kind of more sentiment, but because if there's still hesitation, like people are like, oh, I think it's good, you know, I might still be able to rip up to these purple exponentials and get into this range, which would be pretty gnarly moves, right? All right, let's go to equities. Enough about this magic internet money. So equities have been just, I mean, dumpster fire action. I mean, look at this, guys. This is brutal. You're not getting really any upticks. The Fed couldn't save them. They hiked. No one cared. Everyone's pissed. You can see only twice did we get dailies above the 55 exponential, just to kind of give you context and something that's traded a lot more than crypto is. You know, you get it right here, immediate rejection. 1-2 days later, immediate rejection. This one got it, and then absolute murder fest rejection all the way back below the 21. So bears have been firmly in control of the equity markets pretty much since early October. You can see it's even busted this long-term trend line, and that goes all the way back to October of 2011. And if we want to kind of move that over here to anchor it to 08 lows, it has also broken that trend line as well. As you can see here, did a little doji right below it, and then murder fest. We're actually all the way at summer 2017 highs before this insane rip at the end of the year. So yeah, I mean, it just gave up all of the action for the whole year. It's not looking really good. I don't see much bullish anything in sight yet. It's pretty bad out there in equity land. If you trade out there, you're probably well aware of it. You did have some bullish divergence trying to play out on the daily. Broke down, busted. Womp womp. Now will it try to hold here? Maybe not. Maybe not. I don't know. I'm gonna wait for another couple days to see if we can get that. But that has been destroyed, and now we are coming to the daily though long-term gray trend line here, and that sits at about 2370. So, you know, maybe we find some support there. That is where we did find to the tick support in 2015. We broke just below it for a second in 2011. Let's see what that move was. I believe those are like 18%. Yeah, 18%. God, you know, looked at that chart way too many times. It's like about 18-ish% on this sell-off. So it's, but you know, obviously too, we weren't as high above in the gray area. I'm sorry, not the gray area. We weren't as high from the gray trend line. But yeah, so coming down here with this momentum is probably pretty damn likely. Let me go show you something that's real ugly though. The Russell. This is small caps. Absolute murder fest. This is down now since September. It started the party early, way before the ES and NASDAQ. Look at this, guys. 108 days, 3 months roughly. Russell's down 25%. There was something swirling around. My buddy said that this has been, if it kind of stays on these lows here for December, you know, which is only like 4 more trading days for the year anyway, then this will be the worst quarter since the Great Depression. And that's a pretty damn insane stat to think about. And what's even more weird about that, if you couple that with the VIX, let's go to the VIX, which is the volatility on the S&P. Look at this. Even, like, this is the beginning of the year, all the way up to almost 50. Here's right now, just chilling around the 20s, right? And if we go back to equities, look at this. This is what's really, really weird to me. You have 12% down, made the VIX almost go to 50. And now you have 17% down. And VIX is still below 30. Weird as shit. Not sure what's going on with that. Yeah, recession time, possibly transfix. I don't know, man. With VIX kind of low like that, and everyone getting really excited about recessions, even like CNBC's touting like Trump's gonna be the first president in a while to deal with a recession. Blah 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 blah. Like they just keep using the word recession. Yeah, I mean it looks really bad. It definitely does. But is it going to be just fall out of bed here? I don't know. No one really knows. But it's it is very freaking ugly, that's for sure. I'm not sure what kind of event or something people are going to be looking for to be like, oh, the market's okay. We probably won't even need one. You know, everyone wants like a news event to, they like, oh, we need that for the price action or something. Well, not necessarily. This shit could rip up, you know, 10, 15% out of nowhere just because it's so sold off. It would be easy to do that and rip it all the way back to, you know, like 1500. This is just like, this is almost getting capitulation-esque, right? Let's see. Let's look at it with some volume. Yeah, there you go. Look at that. The most volume ever traded since the Russell 2000 went to the CME back in 2017 in the summer. So, yeah, getting close. And shit, to be fair, now that the daily closed on the rut, this is a pretty textbook example of a capitulation-style candle. Spinning hammer type doji formation on the most volume that this has seen in over 2 years. Or I'm sorry, I guess really only like a year and a half. But gold, silver, oil, nat gas, yeah, we'll go look at those here in a second. But yeah, so this is definitely some textbook capitulation. Now, could it go lower? Of course it can. But, you know, this is actually looking pretty good with the point of control right here at 1330. You know, if we kind of can keep these, that 1330-ish level going, man, we might be a little bit, might be in for a little bouncy bounce. But overall, the stock market's incredibly bearish. Even the Dow Jones, absolute murder fest. Everything is down. This will be the first time that we close down on a year for a while. I mean, look at this. Shit, the Dow is down 8-9%, so pretty rough. Yeah, I got caught in a little bit of this the last couple of days. That one has definitely made my butthole bleed a little bit. All right, let's go to oil. And again, that goes back to what I was talking about earlier in the when I started the stream about just trading emotionally. It's just bad. You know, even when you do this forever and you do it successfully, let's say you've done it for 10, 15 years, you'll still do that, but you'll learn real quick to be like, oh, no, check yourself. Slap that crap. Can't do that. Oil. Wow. Just wow. Yeah, I actually nibbled some oil long here. I talked about it on the stream. That got completely stopped out like immediately. That just got murder fest. It was kind of trying to base here, and I mentioned it too when I put it on that it wasn't an ideal setup and it was a risky trade. Looking back in hindsight on it, I'm like, man, that was like a super risky trade. It's like funny I say it while I'm talking out loud doing these streams, and then I did it anyway because if you go back to that stream, I believe it was this day on the 16th or it was the 14th, and then like this price action on a 4-hour, you're below the 55 and the 21. On a 4-hour. It's my favorite thing. Yeah. Dumb. That was just a bad Bad trade. I was just like, man, I just want to get long oil so bad. But look at this. Rejection, 21. EMA the whole time. So, again, I even mentioned that too. I shouldn't even get bullish on oil until we get above the 21 daily exponential. Until then, yeah, it's pretty nasty. That's okay, though. You win some, you lose some. All right, so let's see here on the hourly. Yeah, kind of neutral on the hourly, but still getting rejections on your two smaller time frame exponentials. All right, while we're at oil, we'll go ahead and jump over to nat gas. So here's NG. Oh, here's this nice little gap on NG. That will probably come and get backfilled. That's around 330. Yeah, that's not too far away from here, about 15% or so. Let's see. On the daily, we are getting... The bears are trying to get back control on the daily, but pretty neutral for now. But I guess if we zoom... Oh my gosh, this mouse wheel is garbage. Alright, yeah, if we zoom in though on this daily, we are getting rejections at the 55 exponential. So that is a little bit bearish. If this thing can't get back above, you know, like $4, yeah, this is definitely not looking real great. And given all this damn hype that happened, everybody was, I don't even know why, doesn't matter, but just pumps up, consolidates, distributes all this big ass move, and then sells off. Yeah, below $4, I'm not even wanting to entertain longs on that guy. Let's see on the hourly. Yeah, hourly the bears are getting control too, so do be weary of that. Unless we have some huge cold super storm come in or some crap like that. And even if we did, price can kind of do whatever it wants, right? Alright, gold. Let's go to gold, because that gold action has been lovely. Look at this mofo, just ripping. Finally getting some rip action. But look where we're finding resistance at this long term, and that's a daily. And we were looking at about that area, the 1270 area. Here we are. Not sure if I would want to get long the gold here. And you know what's funny? Speaking of news and it not mattering, rates get hiked for the dollar, which is good for the dollar, right? That makes people want to go to the dollar more, and it's usually bad for gold. What happens after the rate hike? Gold rallies, dollar sells off. Complete opposite, right? It is really pound that, and I know some people don't like it, about news. News doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Yeah, maybe it matters for 2 seconds, and then it doesn't matter. Just kind of like forget about news. Price action will give you the news. And you know, to give you an example of that, let's go to the hourly on the Fed day, which is right here. It's like, oh shit, everything's awesome. And even let's go zoom in a little bit on the 30-minute. Look at this, everything's awesome. Fed announcement, boom. You didn't even have to go. I mean, you can see it on the 5-minute. We can go on the 5-minute right here. Whoop. Is that the right one? I think so. No, it's 19. Let me go back. It's over here. Oh, no, it's not. Shit, I'm lost. There it is. Gosh. When you zoom in like that sometimes. Yeah, so you can see here in the 5 minutes, like, oh, everything's awesome. There's some strong resistance on the gray, long-term resistance, and then the Fed meeting comes out, the minutes, boom, slapped. So within 5 minutes, you already obviously knew that they hiked it. You didn't have to go look at anything. Like Bernard Baruch says, show me the charts and I'll tell you the news, right? It's the other way around. It's not tell me the news so I can justify the price action. That probably means you have bags too, because you're trying to search for you know, positive reinforcement of your position. All right. Anyway, back over to the gold. 4 hours. We are at. I mean, it does look pretty good. Although RSI is having a trouble getting above 70, like at all on the 4 hour. That's kind of interesting. Also on the daily too. Yeah, so I don't really like gold being long right here. And I'll show you another thing I noticed earlier today when I was just watching markets. Look at this daily on GDX. What the hell is this shit? And then we have no follow through today. Pretty odd candle formation, for sure. Pretty crazy. I don't really like that. We hit both of the measured moves twice on this guy from these inverted head and shoulders. We did here, and then you have that one, and then we had like another mini one in here, and both of those have hit their targets. So I'm out of those. I'm not playing that anymore. I'm waiting for the next setup. I don't really see one, and this price action on GDX is very confusing to say the least. So let's see what happens throughout the rest of this year. I probably won't touch gold until January. All right, let's go to silver. You can see some silver action. Silver action is looking decent. Oh, I don't have horizontals on here. What the? All right, there we go. Silver action's okay. Still pretty neutral on the on the daily. Getting kind of bullish on the 4 hour. But again, same thing on RSI. You're having problems on any kind of rally, even getting into the strength zone, which is above 70. No, I don't call that overbought. That's stupid. That's not really what that means. They should really need to like rephrase that. But anyway, what is this big green box here? Oh goodness, is that the buy zones? Okay, yeah, that's like a good kind of support block there. Here you are, just coming right out of it. Let's extend it over. Just like it did here. Came way out of it here. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not really liking this price action. That's annoying. Let's get rid of that. Not really liking it too much. Daily super neutral. And we're finding resistance here. Breaking above this little box that we're kind of in. About 15 bucks. Yeah, shit, that probably gives us a run to about $15.50 to $16 on silver. I do love silver. That's probably my favorite metal. I do like to hold that physically and go scoop some up on dips. Definitely was doing that on some of these dips here and here. Because when the commodity cycle booms back in, I think silver is going to run like a beast. Which it does do. It has better alpha than gold usually. All right, let's go to... We already got all those for you, JJ. All right, so that's awesome. All right, so I think I'm going to do wrap it up with BTC, with Mama Bear. We've got a concert to get ready to go to here in a few hours. All right, so... Back to the Bitcoin. The Bitcoin. Oh, we're having a nice little rally here. Merci. Having a nice little reaction off of this sell-off. We'll see if it can get back up to this point of control at 40.50. If this daily can't close above that, yeah, this momentum might be a little bit exhausted. Yeah, right there. There you go. So it's actually at about 40, 30 something. But yeah, if it doesn't kind of get back above there on this daily, it's got still another couple hours. That would be good. But yeah, if it does, then hell yeah. Coming up here to 44, 4,500 is definitely in the cards. So just kind of watch the hourly. Y'all know that's what I like to do, especially in real volatile markets like this, to give me kind of a hint. And then I like to enter off of 4 hour stuff. The BTC, monsieur. I don't know if I said that right, but definitely some French action. What do you speak French over there, JJ? But again, we can't even get real bearish again on BTC until we break back below 36. And really kind of 30, yeah, let's just say 36 to 38. If it can hold that range, we might be doing some shifting here. So... good job for now, BTC. Getting it in. So, with that said, watch those levels. You got this 42. If we can get back over 42, and look at this on the hourly where the longer-term gray moving average is coming in right at 4,200. So, yeah, watch that 42. Be careful of this bearish divergence happening on the hourly. If that jumps up onto the 4 hour, that will definitely not be a good look. But right now, it's a little early to say that. Holding 30, this green box zone, still bullish. Get back below that, and ultimately back below the 55 exponential. Now we have to flip it, since it did it here. We have to flip it, and once we get some 4-hour candles that close below the 55, then you can consider maybe adding some speculative shorts. At least that's how I'm playing this here. It's hard for me. I want to do it right here. I really do. Just at 42, it's like, hell, it would have worked good for just a scalp, but I did not do that when I missed it. I was over there in equity land, so didn't see that one earlier this morning. No worries. Can't catch them all, right? All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Found any value or anything, please sub, bell, and smash. Get it in. This has been your host, Z-Rex, with no noise, signing off on this beautiful Thursday over here in Central Texas with the sun out finally. It's amazing. I'm going to go sit out there for a little bit, read a little bit, and then go to my parlay. It's been fun. Much love. Happy trading. Remember, stay disciplined. Don't do stupid shit like I did earlier and cost me almost $1,000 in equities. That was dumb. Find out what your risk tolerance is. When is it the level? This is something I've been like soul searching on. I'm just going to mention this real quick. There's a number that you start freaking out and your emotional capital goes awry, right? And you can't control kind of yourself in a way. And what number is that for you? It's different for everyone. Some people can withstand $1,000 loss. Some people only can withstand a $100 loss. Some people can withstand a $10,000 loss. Also, that's relative to your account size. But you kind of have to put all that together and be like, well, when is it to where it starts really boiling your blood? Like, is it that $400, $500 range? And you start kind of getting distraught and can't make great decisions. The biggest thing I've noticed is people get into trades and then they have no idea where they're going to manage them. And if you don't have any idea on trade entry where you're going to manage it, then you're going to manage it emotionally, and you're it's probably a 90% chance you'll lose money. And I don't know, that stat is just something off of my personal trading and talking with people. It's not like something I saw in a research paper or anything, but yeah, just set it up. When you enter the trade, that's all you can control is trade entry and when you close it. So when you enter the trade, you should already know I'm buying at 100, I'm looking for 110, I'm stopping out at 98, whatever it is. And that goes back to finding the tolerance level that you can withstand. Yeah, that you can withstand. For me personally, it's probably around $300-400. Once I get over that, I start getting kind of mad, and I've noticed that's where the shift starts to happen. But hey, that's just some food for thought. I don't know, it's something I've been thinking about a lot lately, and there you go. I hope that helped you a little bit. Again, happy trading. Much love. I'll talk to y'all soon. Peace.